In a world of shiny helmets, spandex jumpsuits, and strange monsters, these heroes force feed you a bowl of awesome that is the Tokudon Podcast. Join Carl and Rob as they haphazardly welcome you to the exciting genre of Tokusatsu. Now, open wide.
Hello, friends! And if you're watching, thanks. I know the Super Bowl's on, so thank you for watching. Yeah, there's some big spurts event or some shit going on.
One of them sports things.
They're spurts.
It's them Eagles playing something.
Yeah. So if you hear random muffled screams, it's because we live in a city that's playing in the Super Bowl.
It's just the whole city's gonna shake. Just where are they playing in Philly? Because that's just gonna make it even better.
No. They always do the Super Bowl. For what little I know of football, they always do the Super Bowl in a city that has a domed stadium, and the Eagles do not have a domed stadium. So
I see. Okay, I didn't even know that. So yeah, cool.
That's all I know.
So go winners.
Go.
Make a goal.
Checkmate.
Get a goal unit.
Yeah.
Whatever happens. Yeah. As long as everybody's happy.
Goal
right?
unit.
Whatever. I mean, yeah. So, what's up, man? How you been?
What's up? Yeah, we're chilling. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
This week we're gonna check out two things actually. We're gonna
start with very ambitious.
Yeah, we got a lot of things done because our first plan didn't work out. We'll talk about that next week.
Okay. Yeah. To be fair, it's just because it seemed like a lot more work, and we're just like we don't want to do that much work.
Yeah.
But it was I think mentally this was way harder.
Yeah, this is definitely way more of a thinker than what we were planning originally. So originally this week we were going to do Shogeki go Raigen, which is Keita Amamiya's parody series. We're going to move it to next week because neither of us finished the episode.
Promise it'll be next week. We promise.
We thought we could kill him in like a week and a half. I procrastinated. I finished like 5 episods.
Me too, bro. Same.
I lied. I got to 6.
It's on us.
But
wow.
So this,
okay.
I got to 6.
Show off.
I know, right? Hashtag humble brag.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Instead, we are talking about one of my favorite movies of all time. I was obsessed with this. With this movie.
I remember.
Yes, and this is actually what got me into film school, which led to us meeting. This movie was a linchpin in that. We are going to talk about CASSHERN, the 2004 live-action adaptation, because it is super fucking tokusatsu. And
super 2004 too.
Yeah, it's super 2004 too. Oh my god, this thing's like a time capsule of movies. It's weird.
Yes.
We are also going to be talking about the indie project Orc that released last week, I believe, and kind of go over that as well. And I am super excited to talk about that too. Honestly, it's a fantastic little indie shtick, and I'm excited to go into that.
It's weird how we ended up doing two ends of what ends up being the dynamic here. We have a indie project that has been, homegrown. Everything is basically from the bottom up, an independent project, versus this CASSHERN movie, which you can tell is just
money
doused in money, which could have gone better, but was okay. You know what I mean? Like where they put the money could have been better. But in terms of like the big bold movie versus the little indie project, I feel the superior project actually is the indie project in
you think?
My opinion, in terms of what we got, because like I said, this movie is amazing, but it is more fluff than substance.
Yes, okay, I will agree with you.
A lot of fluff.
In the terms of pure unadulterated juicy toku, Orc definitely is the better of the two.
Right. But again, we'll talk about CASSHERN first, because this is a slice. This is a big piece of movie. 2 hours.
Fucking
It's
movie.
a 2 hour movie,
and 16 minutes.
So buckle in because we got some stuff to talk about.
We got some fucking stuff. So let's start with what the fuck CASSHERN is. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to say, in terms of what this is versus what CASSHERN, the original project is a animated toku. And I have a picture of it, so I never watched it, so I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
I do know that it looks a lot different.
Yes, but you see the helmet in the movie. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes, they do a lot of member berries.
Yeah. So the original story of CASSHERN is about an android, a dude who becomes an android, think like DBZ androids kind of thing, to stop his father's rogue androids that he created. The original one, the Burai King, is what it becomes to be called, because it is basically like Lightning Man is what it translates to, from what I understand.
I like that.
Is because it was struck by lightning and malfunctioned and decided to take over the world. CASSHERN is fighting against these robots to stop their tyrannical reign, and it is very 70s. It is very, Tokusatsu inspired 70s cartoon.
It's like Mega Man meets Fist of the North Star.
Pretty much, yeah. And then later they did a 90s OVA like they did with a lot of things, like we talked about the Hurricane Polymer 90s OVA that you found, which is fucking so metal.
Amazing.
There's a 90s CASSHERN, it's CASSHERN Robot Hunter, I believe it's called, is the OVA series. And they redesigned the character kind of like they did with a lot of the stuff back then. They redesigned the character. If you guys ever played Tatsunoko versus Capcom, CASSHERN is in there. You can play as CASSHERN. He's actually one of my favorite characters in that game. He's fucking cool. He's a big body boy.
What's he play?
What's that?
Oh, he's a bigger.
He's a big slow. He's Makoto. He hits real hard. He's got a really fast dash. He can call Friender, his dog buddy, who was in this movie, but not as Friender as you know him. So he has a dog companion. Think like Rush and Mega Man, just to keep that comparison going. Robot dog can transform into shit, does all kinds of cool stuff. It can turn into like an aircraft. It can turn into a car, I think. Stuff like that. That's Friender. You can call it as an assist, and one of the most common ones is it'll bite their ankle, and they just kind of like for a second. So you can like combo into that, hold them down, and then you just full Oki combo kind of thing. And yeah, no, he's really fun in that game, and he's got one of his supers is the super chop. The huge beam of light comes out.
Listen, that super chop is a thing in
cool, man. And that's kind of his thing. Like, he doesn't have weapons really. He fights with his hands, and that's always been his thing. In the original show and in this movie, I mean, you noticed it, but it's a little different in the show. He has rockets on his sides, but they're guns in the original. They look like pistols, but he uses them like rockets. So, and I think they are actually guns. Like, I think he could, if he wanted to, he could like start blasting, but he just uses them as rockets.
So he started blasting.
Yeah, so he started blasting. So that's the original CASSHERN, kind of the history of the franchise a little bit. This live action adaptation takes a totally different route with that shit. I see that 180 other direction. It becomes very theological. It becomes very pseudoscience-y, like mythological science almost, because we get all this kind of essentially he is reborn from the cells of old humans. They Soylent Green that shit.
So like, okay, that's one of the only questions that kind of still plague me. All right.
Okay.
So there's a factor in here that I'm not getting. Mm-hmm. Is there this supernatural influence? Because this lightning bolt that creates this building. Yep. What is that? What is that?
I don't know if you recognized for everyone who hasn't seen the movie, yes. When they are creating, so the premise to this movie, and I also want to talk about the director and actors and things like that, but the premise to this movie is you essentially have an ex-soldier or a soldier who is killed in action. His father creates this neo-cell program where they're trying to basically create spare body parts for people because there's all kinds of contamination and war and things like that. They're trying to medically save the human race, and he creates this neo cell where he can essentially grow body parts. And at some point when his son dies, he wants to revive him. All hell breaks loose. This lightning bolt crashes into the pool, in which, think like the fucking Neo pool that he like splurts out of, just imagine
Yeah,
bigger.
it's essentially that. It's just a big body.
It's just a big fucking like literal pool of body parts. This lightning bolt falls into it, and I don't know if you noticed the lightning bolt, but I'll talk about where that comes from in a second.
I need to know.
Okay, so it falls into this pool, and then there's all these kind of crazy effects, and it starts to regenerate the human parts into bodies.
Listen, so yeah, that shit is the coolest fucking. It's cool as hell though. So think of like Frankenstein's monster times like 50 bodies. You know what I mean? Like all these start like shambling up, and then they all look like they're covered in like mud and cake and blood.
It looks almost like clay, honestly.
Yeah, I have the picture of the main. Yeah. So the main villain is the reason why this is like a big Dylan. Yeah, the big Dylan. Big Dylan. He's the reason why we're like really fixated on this particular dude.
Yeah.
And legit, he's just like covered in, and they don't really come out of this for a while.
No,
it's just like caked onto them. So it's whatever that is. Stitched, their bodies stay stitched like that. It's cool as shit.
You have the Sins pictures in here. I'm just pulling up the pictures for people.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So CASSHERN, no, don't be sorry. I fucking love CASSHERN Sins. So CASSHERN Sins came out in 2000. I want to say like 7-ish. It's another reimagining of the series. But it's animated by, I'd have to look it up. I don't remember, but I feel like it's a pretty big studio. This is, if you guys are looking at the screen right now, this is the Tatsunoko versus Capcom. This is very classic. You see Friender there. That's his classic design. But yeah, this is the movie poster. And then, this shit, the shots like this are why I fucking love this movie.
This movie, listen, in terms of as it's a movie, stylistically, this movie is amazing to watch because you have transitions, you have choices, you have decisions that are like very 2004. I'm not gonna detract from that because the amount of lens flare in this movie is J.J. Abrams would be like, excuse me. Like, hang on.
And this movie, I also, speaking of J.J. Abrams, I looked it up because I was curious because there is a lot of lens flare in this movie. And that was a whole era, if you guys remember. Like, the early aughts, there was a ton of lens flare. And I looked up this movie compared to Star Trek, which I feel like kind of kickstarted all that. This movie came out 5 years before Star Trek.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, Kazuaki Kiryu, the director, is the true originator of the lens flare, and I feel like maybe JJ, because JJ is probably like a little more cultured and watches this kind of stuff.
He is quite.
He might be a little more cultured and watch things like this. Probably picked it up from him. And speaking of which, since we're on the topic, Kazuaki Kiryu is the director of the film. Like I said, he also does another movie that I'm very eager for you to watch because I know I've talked about it a bunch, but I don't know if you actually saw the whole thing. It's called Goemon. I do want to watch that for the show at some point. But
so I'm gonna drop that poster right here for Goemon. So I did save it because I knew we were going to talk about that. But yeah, no, I remember you talking about this quite a bit, and it was kind of hype because I remember watching some of the action scenes.
Yeah, like even CASSHERN, I know I've sent you like the scene before, like the fucking CASSHERN scene, right? Like where he's fighting all the robots and shit. Like that's the scene to me.
So I'm going to try to see if they upload because I think I figured out how to do this. Okay. So if you'll humor me, I can upload that fight scene in 7-second intervals.
Yes, but sure.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that one. All right, so real quick.
You try that. I'll keep talking about Kazuaki.
I'm gonna drop this in here so you can further your point. But let me do this color palette of the film so you can talk about that. There's this color palette that somebody did of the film sequence of one scene.
This is awesome.
This is one scene where he's going from one to another. This is all happening in the same scene, guys. Like, it's fucking bananas. Like, genius film.
This isn't the same scene, but this is fucking radical either way.
When he's cutting, this happens in a moment where he's cutting into a same moment where there's moments in this movie where this is where it gets like kind of weird with time thingy, because he's implying that this moment has happened numerous times in different situations where he's playing the moment over in a different situation, in a different color, in a different palette. You know what I mean? Like it was trippy to watch because you're watching the same thing play out 3 different ways, but it's different consequences each different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's a couple scenes I know what you're talking about, like when they're in the forest or whatever, and he meets the other doctor guy.
Right.
They're having this conversation. It's kind of jumping between like them in the forest, them just kind of like in a weird surreal area, all this kind of stuff. This particular picture is actually a whole bunch of different scenes kind of meshed together to look like it, but it kind of shows you the motifs of visually of what it's showing in each of the area. They have this crazy luscious green garden. The other doctor, I forget his name, it's Luna's dad. They have this kind of red hue going on, and then they have the containment forest. Yeah, it's wild. And then they have the Barai Castle, I'm going to call it. I don't remember what it's called. But yeah, you can see the color and this is not even including the black and white stuff. There's sections of this movie that are like for 30 minutes black and white.
There's a part where he's talking to a doctor after they escape. There's a part where they escape. He meets a doctor in like the
anytime
desert
you're in
world.
So each of these, I interpreted this as each of these are a different zone, right? Because they're talking about zones throughout the whole movie.
Right. That's
and
true.
zone
That's
7 is the black and white one. So
that's where the pollution is like at its worst.
That's also like, where he was fighting in the war, and that's where all the stuff is taking place, which is a point we'll come back to because that's towards the end of the movie. But to get back to Kazuaki,
but it's
Kiria,
also towards the beginning.
It's also it opens with the same thing, but it comes full circle at the end.
Fucking cool. That's cool.
But getting back to Kazuaki Kiria, he talks about the Goemon movie, or he did the Goemon movie. Apparently, he directed a movie in 2015 with like Morgan Freeman in it called Last Nights, and it's his interpretation of 47 Ronin. I had no idea about this movie. I'm gonna have to watch it now.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm 100% serious about this. It's called
if
Last
Morgan
Nights.
Freeman has a katana in his hands, I need to know this.
I don't know. I don't know, but I'm gonna put this in the Discord so you can see. Because this is a thing that happens. And
it is not a katana.
Nope, but he's got a sword.
It's a sword.
It's a sword.
I'll take it.
So he did that, and then he has some other movie coming out this year, apparently. I'm probably going to watch it because I think this dude's great. But you guys may know him because of his connection to someone else, and that little person is Hikaru Utada. Simple and fucking clean.
Really? Simple and damn clean, huh?
Yeah. They were apparently married for a few years, so...
Oh,
yeah.
Well, shit. Okay.
So he directed a bunch of her music videos. Looks like from around 2001 to about 2006. They divorced in 2007 apparently. Simple and Clean is not one of them, but she's super crazy famous.
I'm just Kingdom Hearts, man.
Just Kingdom Hearts. So that's Kazuaki Kiria. Like I said, I love this dude as a director. I think he has a crazy vision. And I'm sure we'll talk about it more as we talk about the scenes themselves. But other characters in this movie, other actors, are very important to talk about for various reasons. So did you recognize, and you may not have because I don't think we ever really talked about this movie and I haven't seen it myself, but did you recognize CASSHERN himself, like the actor
himself, Tatsuya? No.
Yeah. So he plays Jotaro in the live action adaptation. Jotaro Kujo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay.
He is also.
No, I didn't get to see that. But okay.
Is that him? No, I'm sorry. Yes, he plays Jotaro Kujo, and then what was this dude's name? He was, I think he's the annoying dude, the kid. No, he's the son, the general son. Did you recognize him?
Naito.
He's from Shin Ultraman. Yeah, he's the head guy of Shin Ultraman, the head Defense Force dude. No, not Naito, the general's son. I'm sorry. You went to the Shadow Realm for a second.
I don't know the name.
It's the general son, the main guy with the katana who takes over. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He's the leader.
I know the guy.
He's the leader of the SSSP in Shin Ultraman. That's the same actor.
No shit.
Yeah, it's him. That's him. Yeah. That little shit for brain dude in this movie who's like, you people suck. Yeah, he's in Shin Ultraman.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
And then, did you recognize Luna? We actually talked about this one very recently.
Who was Luna?
She was in Zebra Man.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's in Zebra Man.
Oh, Zebra Man.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Yep. She's in Zebra Man. Oh goodness. And then last but not least, who was this person again? I forget. because they were in the dude who had the kind of fur collar thing going on. You know, I'm talking about the guy who fights one of the sword guy. Yeah. So he's in a bunch of Kamen Riders. He was G3X in the Project G4 movie, and then he was also in the Ryuki episode final.
As who?
I don't know who he is in Ryuki because it's uncredited, so he may just be like a random dude. But he's G3X in the Project G4 movie.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So cool.
It's
pretty cool. Some names, some faces we've recognized over the years.
Couple of hitters.
Yeah. So pretty cool.
Let's talk about Tatsuya here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's implied Tatsuya went to war against his family's wish. Because
literally just to middle finger his father. Yep.
Yeah, because he didn't want the legacy that his father was going down. Apparently, he was looking for funding from the government, and everybody hates the government. Apparently,
so his father got into this neo-cell research because his mom was incredibly sick and dying from some unknown disease, and Tetsuya was kind of following in his footsteps, becoming a doctor, and then said, "Fuck you, Dad, I'm going to war," because cowardice is worse than risking your life or something like that. I forget what the exact line is, but that's essentially what he says.
Yeah, and it was his idea to just like end the war so that people would stop fighting and it would be the end of it.
You know, big hero motive.
But when he goes, it's bad.
Big
it's
hero
really
motive,
bad.
and then he goes, "Oh God, it's war." So like it literally jump cuts to like 1 year later, and he's stopping some lieutenant dude from like blowing his buddy's head off because this dude won't shoot some random civilians.
Like the captain dude who's like ordering this, obviously pissing his pants private to like to like execute this POW, and he's just like, I can't do it, I'm not gonna do it, and then Tetsuya's like, okay, just stop, I'll do it, and he does, and then
with hesitation, like, by the way. I don't want to make him sound like some douchebag. He kind of like, fuck,
not hesitation. Regret, because I think it was more
that's a better
after.
word. Yes,
regret.
Like he definitely didn't want to though. Like that was the face of like, shit, I have to. But like it was a face of like, if this makes any sense, it was the greater good face.
You know, to say the least. Like this is gonna escalate if we don't stop this right now.
Yeah,
like it's either her or everybody now. Yeah, like I get it. So I get it. So anyway, you get that impression that he's willing to do what it takes to get the shit done. Mm-hmm. But then you cut to this celebration where his father got the approval. They're getting the funding, all this shit, and his mother's celebrating that she's finally gonna get healed. And then they get the news that he's fucking dead. And they're like,
his mom goes blind.
Yes, and she's finally blind. And so basically, like, you know, you get this tragedy right out the gate where your main character is already done, and then all this nonsense happens where this lightning bolt made of this building made of a lightning bolt.
So you find out that the Neo cells were found in the DNA of, they call it a specific primitive ethnic group is what they call it. And you find out that the cells are basically grown from there, and they're able to basically kind of like stem cell deal. They grow the pieces from that, and these are what they call neo cells. And so they start the neo cell research, like you're saying. They start a little factory because the military, of course, wants this technology. And so there's this board of directors that approves it, and Naito, the name you said earlier, is kind of like the guy who's the direct correspondent to Tetsuya's father, Dr. Azuma. And they kind of start experimenting, and that's when this crazy stone lightning bolt comes down from the sky. And it is so throughout the movie, there's these angel statues that are constantly showing up. The first opening 5 seconds, you see one of those angel statues holding this lightning bolt. I don't know if you realize that. Literally the big fly-in, there's this big CG fly-in shot. You see one of those statues up in like the stratosphere. It's holding one of those lightning bolts.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, and that's where it comes from.
This movie, man, this movie is...
And so this giant stone lightning bolt, and they do this effect where it looks like a shock of lightning, and it just kind of like stays there, strikes this water with the Neo cells, and that's when everyone's put back together, and that's when we get that. Right. The Neo Sapiens, as they end up calling themselves, come out, and...
Neo Sapiens. What a great name.
Right?
What a fantastic name.
And immediately Naito, this contact dude, panics and calls Order 66 to have them all fucking executed.
It's Order 206.
My bad.
My bad. They were like, we can't say that. So 206. But legit, same shit.
But legit, these fucking like Jinro soldiers just come out of nowhere and start blasting. They start fucking blasting. And it comes down to, so did you catch what was happening with Tetsuya at the time? Because it was a little, I remember, because I've seen this movie a lot, but it's been quite a few years since I've actually watched it, and it didn't click when I had watched it before. Did you
like symbolically? His father was taking him to be like the Lazarus thing, right?
Yeah, but did you understand what was going on with him like walking around in the black garb? So he's in like a big trench coat and all this stuff. So they kind of do this thing which is interesting because he does it a lot in this movie, where Tetsuya is kind of like a spirit walking around. That's why he's in all black like that. That's his like soul walking around. And so when all this shit goes down, that's why he's like sitting with Luna, but she's not really like recognizing that he's there, and like they're carrying his body. He's kind of experiencing this literally from an ethereal realm. And he's literally a ghost that's seeing this. And eventually Burai, the main Neo-Sapien, kind of jumps down after he does this very dramatic rip a flag off and wrap it around himself. He jumps down onto Tetsuya's coffin and looks directly at the fucking ghost. And like they look dead in the eyes of each other.
That's cool as shit.
And it's like, these moments, does he see him? Does he not? It's very unclear because immediately a bunch of Neo-Sapiens come running out and start getting gunned down like crazy. But yeah, it was very cool. I didn't realize that when I first saw this movie, so I wasn't sure if you caught that or not.
I did not. But yeah, there's a lot. Like I said, there's so much in this movie that you can watch this a lot and still absorb a bunch of stuff, just cinematically speaking. And now I didn't even catch the lightning bolt thing, dude. Like
so like when you see it, it's eventually like just a stone light after the effect like kind of fades off. It's just a stone fucking lightning bolt.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, how did that turn into a stone? I don't understand. Like, it was
it was a piece of a statue that came fucking tumbling down.
Bitch. And it didn't tumble down. That motherfucker was thrown.
Yeah.
That shit.
Some motherfucker threw that. Now, this is the part that happens later with it, where he just kind of shows up. I have no idea. I can't explain that one. I have no fucking clue. But I'll get to that. But yeah, it's really cool. And as they're kind of running away, that's also why he's overseeing his father. His father grabs his body and dips him into the Lazarus pit. We're just gonna call it the fucking Lazarus pit at this point.
That's basically it.
Yeah, he dips him into the Lazarus pit and he's screaming, "No, I don't want to come back." And that's where I was like, oh shit, he's a ghost. That's where this fucking is. And that's like all of his regret coming through. That's all of his war fucking like PTSD shit.
Because this dude is broken. This guy is broken, and for a reason. And for, I mean, the POW we talked about him earlier is the fucking thing that broke him. But there's levels to that that you don't even find out for a while,
for about 2 more hours.
And then even then, you're just like, oh yeah. It's even worse.
Yeah.
Like,
no, this is one of those movies like where you watch it and you're like, I don't feel good.
No.
Like I literally sat here for a second. I was like, oh.
which and then in the next project too, even that, you're just like, okay, that was bittersweet. So it wasn't even that much. And better.
I eat that shit up. Oh, beautiful. I love it.
I love melancholy. It's great. But I in a weekend like this, like I just needed something. So I found something for us. And we'll talk about it later. But I found a lemon, a nice little sweet in the lemon drop. So
but I love lemon drop, so that's cool.
It's cool. Lemon drop candy's awesome.
Yeah.
Let me see if these drop in here, because there's something we're missing here, and it's quite important. This fucking suit is amazing.
Yes. This suit is fucking radical, and this is why I even watched this movie, because I saw a picture of his fucking helmet and I was like, that is the dopest thing I've ever seen since Guy.
Like it's obvious, like it's a half helmet, so it's like there's an element there where you're just like something is quite not there, but yet it's still.
If you look at the original helmet, like the picture you put up of his Tatsunoko look, you can see the same piece. It's just he doesn't have the helmet that goes over top of it, which is very cool. because they fucking destroyed
it. They do. They show it like snapped in half or crushed in half or something like that. Like there's an obvious scene where they're just like, hey, just so you know, we're not using this at all in this movie, so just get over it right now.
Here's your homage. Now it's time for us. Let's go.
Like we have stuff to do in this movie. Let's focus. But they nailed it.
Yeah. And also while you're doing that, because I know I mentioned Luna. Luna is his fiance. And they are getting married, and they kind of start this whole thing when he says he's going to war is because they're doing their like engagement photos with the family, and Tetsuya and Dr. Azuma start arguing almost immediately, and the mom's like, can we not, like, for one day, can we not fucking do this? And that's where you see like the lush green setting. That's where all this is happening. That's why they're all standing there. And then he immediately is sent to war and dies. So
great. So damn great. But then the fucker comes back in a body bag, and you know they're anyway. So the important thing about Luna's dad is that yes, he's a scientist. He's also Tetsuya's father's rival.
Yeah, so they're like they're kind of like rival scientists kind of thing going on. And so it's interesting because he's clearly some kind of like biologist, and then you find out that Luna's father is a armor specialist, and that's who makes his suit. And you find out because his body is gonna fucking implode because his muscles are so overdeveloped. So imagine bending your arm and you just rip out of your own skin. That's what we're talking here. So this suit is made to they put him in a fucking Saiyan capsule, and he's literally just like bubbling for a while. And then they're like, we got to equip this suit because he's gonna fucking explode if he's not in the suit. He's
constantly getting a Zenkai boost, and it's just like, okay, bro, like I have to like not be this powerful.
Yeah.
What can
Imagine Muscle in fucking My Hero Academia without the ability to fucking recover from it. That's what we're talking.
Yeah, so it's basically like he's super broken. So like the very first thing you see him, he's struggling to even move.
Yeah,
like he's in this suit for the first time, and he's just like, I don't even know how to walk right now.
Yeah, he's almost drunk, right? Like in for the first like 15 minutes, he's almost fucking drunk. And he's just stumbling around. Luna's carrying him. So one of the Neo Sapiens, this lady here, if you guys are looking at the video, this lady here, she's one of the Neo Sapien generals. I'm just gonna call him a Neo Sapien general. I don't remember what her name is specifically. She attacks their office laboratory to collect him because they're looking for scientists to boost their military. So she busts in, and that's when she stabs the father and breaks open the case accidentally that Tetsuya is sleeping in. And the videos aren't playing. It's okay. No, they aren't playing. Sorry.
All right.
But either way, they break in. They have a very anime fight, like very, very anime, and there's lots of lens flare. And this is where I was worried. So, like I said, I haven't seen this movie in about 10 years. And I'm watching this fight, and I like I said, I fucking love this movie. It was one of the reasons I went to film school. That led to why we met. And like, I'm watching this fight, and I'm like, this isn't as cool as I remember. And I was like, oh God, is everything I know a lie?
Nostalgia does play a factor. I'm not going to say no. But at the same time, you could see the artistry that they were going for. This film is very artistic. And that's where, like,
and
there's
anime
one thing
inspired.
Yes. One thing I like that they do a lot is in the fight sequences, whenever somebody is about to get hit or lands a blow or something critical happens, they do this like quick frame of their faces reacting to the moment. So like, and it's literally like maybe a frame or two, because I know I noticed it the first time, I tried to rewind it, I blinked, and I fucking missed it. So it is literally that. And and when you pause it, you could see that in the moment I'm talking about, it's this moment where he's wrestling the girl, the first chick we're talking about, and it's the moment where he ends up, and they don't show it, but it's implied that the blade that she's attacking him with gets snapped off, and she stabs herself with it, or he stabs her with it.
Yeah, they have a moment where they both kind of react to it. And you just hear like guts. That's all you hear. You're like,
and then it's like it suddenly happens, and then there's this quick frame of her face, like oh shit, and it was genius. I'm like, wow, okay, that's cool. I don't see that very often. And he does it again a couple times with a couple other characters, and I'm like, That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then there's a lot of just like framing and of the body and things like that are super anime that I love. Like even in this scene, they do a couple of those like anime streak moments where they're like she's spinning around and like and they like stretch that out, you know, that kind of thing, which is where I was like, oh god, okay. But I think out of all of them, and you can let me know, I mean, obviously there's the one that's the one, but this was probably the worst fight scene in the movie.
The one between her and he?
Yeah. I think it's probably the worst one, honestly. Like I shouldn't say worst. It's the weakest.
It's the weakest because they don't show much. Like it's a lot of haze and a lot of lens flare, but a lot of less of.
And then just those weird like anime cut shots. There's not as much of like the actual stuff happening. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like too action cut. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
like it's over edited.
There's 2 fight scenes after this. Mm-hmm. Pretty much. There's the big one that I tried to upload all the videos for, and that's like where they poured everything into.
That was like, this is our moneymaker scene. We want people to see this shit and go, I want to watch that movie, and that's what they did to me.
Because I was like more the whole time. I get it because it worked.
Butt rock kicks in. They have these crazy shots. He's fighting an army of robots. You have all the things I fucking love.
But if they had done that for like an extra hour, absolutely. But there's another 2 hours after this movie, after that scene, and there's only one extra scene of a fight sequence where it's kind of there, but then they stop right at probably what was going to be the best part, and then they cut back to it, and you missed it. Like we'll get there, but it's basically just like that. Like this is okay. Then this amazing sequence, and then a whole lot of exposition from here on out. And it's kind of where I feel like the fluff loses you, because I get what they're going for here. They're trying to make this epic story where they're telling you this
existential war drama, essentially.
Right, and it works because holy shit, by the end of the movie you really get it, but you gotta be ready to trudge through it. Like if this wasn't our hobby, if this wasn't something I love, I probably wouldn't watch this movie.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, Goemon is not much better in terms of that.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of like, there's some really, really cool scenes, and then there's a lot of existential talking.
Right. So basically all the existential stuff is it just gets you to understand who the villain is. The villain is this angry Frankenstein.
Yeah,
okay?
He's pissed. He just watches people get murdered. What do you expect? Like
literally,
he's born and then he just watches his people get ganked till there's 5 left. Four left.
Systematically. Dude, they would trudge through the snow. But then again, okay, so as they're escaping, mind you, this is kind of an important thing, because as they're escaping, they manage to kidnap Tetsuya's mom, Midori. So she's gone for like, I don't even know how much time passes. Do they talk about how much time?
No, but I'm assuming he's in the Saiyan tank for at least a few months, honestly.
Right, because they have enough time to build an army of robots. So it's enough time for that to happen. Anyway, so mind you, she's sick and she goes in and out of this slumber type thing, but I think she's actually dead, but
I think she's dying, actively dying.
Yeah. So there's this weird, oh my god, that fucking, all right. So they have her. She becomes like this mother figure to them, but she still like has no like power over their decisions.
And it's because still, like, I should reiterate, it's because she's blind, so she doesn't see them as these like crazy clay covered monsters that everyone else seems to see them as.
Which ties us to the theme of the movie: is don't be an asshole, treat everybody with respect.
Peace and love, baby.
But nobody can do that, so that's why they bomb them with giant murder robots. So.
Because my piece is better than yours.
Right. So the Neo Sapiens are attacking, and then the people are like, we got to fight back, and then they decide to fight back, and then they attack this city, and CASSHERN shows up to defend it or something like that, right? Where they're hunting the guy who killed the girl. Because they're pissed off that.
Oh, you're talking about after the cool scene.
Dead. Oh, I mean, Okay, so they're attacking.
I thought we were
right?
still on the cool scene,
CASSHERN,
honestly.
I don't know how to do that justice.
Okay.
There is no doing that justice. Let me see if I can find a clip.
Yeah, like on YouTube, I'm sure you can find like the whole fight.
Yep.
But like, I just, because like I said, this is the scene, right? Like this is the fucking scene where it's like, yep, this is an anime inspired movie.
All I did was put in CASSHERN, and that is the clip that pops up.
That's the clip that fucking pops up, man. Because that is the fucking scene. That's the money seller. And like, I can't stress enough how fucking cool it is, because this dude's got like, he's perched on a rooftop. He's running down the sides of buildings, up and down, I should say. There's, like I said, there's butt rock fucking going the whole time.
He grabs a rocket. He grabs
he catches a fucking shell.
He spin to wins. Did you mention that he spins to win?
Spin to wins the shell. The drill kick.
The ninjetti corkscrew kick.
Oh my god, it's so dope.
All right, to mention that this is like a dynasty fight where he grabs like these grapple hooks off of a robot, right? Yeah. And he does like a big swing with the arms that then extend even further, and he takes like another 30 robots in this radius around him. Yeah. It's fucking insane.
Like this picture in particular that I have paused on the screen for everyone to see at home is what I'm talking about when I say there's some anime fucking shit here. This fucking shot, I'm gonna put it in the Discord right now for you. Yep. This is what I'm talking about. Like this shot in particular is so dope and so cool, and I love this shot. Like I am absolutely ripping this off in something. This in particular, that fucking dynamic shit is beautiful. I love it. And this movie, any movie Kazuaki Kiryu does, is filled with shit like this. It's so cool.
There's a lot of those shots when he's fighting the sword guy. There's like the compositions of that entire sequence is mostly just action shots. Yep. Like hero shots all out the ass, and it's so dope. It's so cool. Yeah. There's one. Oh, hold on, I think I have it here. Yep. Oh yeah.
But yeah, this fight was the one that sells it. Yeah. So and like as you just saw most of it, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, he has this insane fight where he beats their asses, but then just as he's about to fight the main guy, who's like in this glorious red outfit, it's fucking fantastic. Like, hold on, let me show you this cloak because it's amazing. Yep.
I think I dropped a picture. It's not the flag anymore, but it is kind of cool.
Yeah, like he just looks so pissed. But they fight and they end up taking off into the sky. It's fucking cool as shit. Like
he activates his rocket and they just fucking take off.
It's so cool, but they don't really fight. So what's cool about this dynamic, and it took me to understand that the villain is one of the rare things, a tragic villain. Okay. Yeah. Like he's a dick. Obviously, I'm not excusing his actions, but what I am saying is that
he's tragic.
He's not. Well, he's not. He doesn't even want to hurt your hero. You know what I mean? He's not even trying to kill CASSHERN. Yeah. He's just like, dude, stop. Get out of the way. Yeah. You don't understand.
He literally says we're quite literally brothers at this point because we both have our scientist dad over here. And like he's just like, hey man, come on, all I'm trying to do is make fucking peace. And CASSHERN's like, I don't know if this is really the right way to do it.
But it's like at the same time it was like he's like it felt like the Blade Runner, you know, like where it's like he was sticking to his guns. He would kill you if you got in the way, but he was trying to get you to stop. He's like, please stop. Will you stop,
please? I'm literally just asking you, stand aside. That's all I'm asking.
so he fucks him up and he leaves him broken because he has to abandon the thing because he fucked up his plans. He's like, you dick, I'll be back. So that's pretty much it for a bit. And then that's when they amass the army to counterattack. And then that's when they go to that one particular town because they're hunting the guy who killed the chick. And that's where the sword guy finally hunts down CASSHERN. Yep. But that's it's like after
Burisai or something like that. I don't remember his name.
Yeah. Barashin.
There you go.
That's a dope name. Yeah, that's a dope name. That's a cool name. But
who has this glorious fucking fur collar thing going on, and I thought that was dope. It's still dope as hell.
So their suits,
their suits. I assume are kind of like an old world version of what CASSHERN's wearing. That's kind of the vibe I always got from it, because they seem to be so like. I would assume the Neo Sapiens would have the same issue that CASSHERN's having, right? Like their body's gonna just break down. But when they lock on these black suits, that you see a scene where they're like injecting each other with something, and I assumed these suits kind of worked like the CASSHERN suit to kind of like hold their muscle in there because they're fucking all the time. That's the vibe I got anyway.
The character designer worked on both the Pretty Cure franchise and My Hero Academia anime.
Yep. I just saw Nate put that in there too. Yep.
Pretty Cure.
Pretty cool. I don't know what Pretty Cure is.
I'm curious.
But yeah, it oh my god, it's so fucking cool.
Oh dude.
So yeah, they fuck off out. And okay, what do we got? Pretty Cure.
Well, all right, so that's really different.
Yeah, he's talking specifically about CASSHERN's Sins, by the way, too, the anime adaptation from like 2000 whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I want to show you Barashin from the anime, from the old school anime. So this is Barashin in the movie and Barashin from the anime. Way different.
Okay. I like it. I like them both, honestly. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, Barashin's there to throw hands because he's pissed. We should mention that there's a subplot of another of the Neo Sapiens who doesn't speak. He's like a grunting, dumb type of thing.
Yeah.
And Luna was the first person to save him, so he has like this sentimental memory of her.
Yeah.
So as this is happening, as they're fighting, she's being kidnapped by the bad guys, and he goes after her because he recognizes her from before.
The fourth Neo Sapien here in the crew. He's kind of like he's mute, and he kind of just like messes around with like musical. He finds like this accordion looking thing, and you find out that is a thing too. But he finds like a little musical instrument inside this castle that they happen upon. And you know Luna distracted her Dr. Azuma and or something like that. Either her dad or the Dr. Azuma, I forget which one it was, and like some soldiers. So this dude wasn't caught. He was hiding behind a bench, and they kind of like ignored him. And so he thought very highly of her, and was like, "Oh, this lady saved me. I should save her." So he's going there while these two are fucking duking it out like dude bros over here.
And like, okay, this fight, I wanted it to be. It was gritty. It was bloody.
Yeah.
It was black and white. It was Kurosawa.
Yeah.
I loved it, but it was not as. It wasn't enough. You know what I mean? Like it was just like they implied that it was gonna get so much better, and they stopped it.
This fight's biggest issue is that it followed the coolest fight in the fucking movie. Is its biggest issue.
That's true. That's very true. But they have so many good shots in it too. Like,
they absolutely do. And cinematography is phenomenal in this movie. I don't want to take away from that at all. I want you guys to realize that. Like, whether it's a bad scene or a good scene, the cinematography is fucking beautiful. And the reason this one in particular is in black and white is because they are back in Eurasia Zone 7. So Eurasia Zone 7 is where Tetsuya, like I said before, was doing his war stuff. That's where the bulk of the war took place. That's where that shit happened, where he's killing the POWs. They're back in Eurasia Zone 7, so that's why this is in black and white in particular, and he's even in a village that reminds him of that time.
I think it's the same village. I
thought it was the same village, honestly.
I think it might be.
But essentially, this doctor comes across him and Luna and takes him to this village because she's literally dying from like radioactivity contamination, something like that. And that's where we meet Frender. Frender's hanging out, and he's just a real Great Dane hound. He's a real hound.
So
that was
real
Frender.
Dog. Gotcha.
Yeah, the real dog was there. He's not a robo dog. He doesn't like pal around with CASSHERN after this. But Frender is in the movie. Unfortunate that he doesn't get like a robo form at some point and then like go hang out with CASSHERN. But you know, he's in the movie. That's all that matters. So this doctor kind of ends up being the piece that deals with Barashin as well. So like at the end of this movie, all of this is going to crescendo to come full circle where you kind of find out everyone's fate was tied to each other, which is kind of wild.
Very wild.
This doctor and Barashin, just put a pin in that. We'll come back to that in a minute. But yeah, this fight scene is cool. Like he uses his sword. That's the other side of his rocket. Like he pulls one off and it turns into a fucking sword. That's what he was extending in that fight scene. He's extending the blade for like a mile and doing cool shit.
That's what I mean. this shit was so cool, but it could have been so much cooler.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not taking away. I just wish it was more.
Yeah.
You know, like it was dope. But dude, we were so
wish-
close to greatness.
I think if we did the first fight scene with the girl,
Right.
then this one, and then had the robot fight before he went to the castle, I think this would have been a lot stronger, personally. Because
yes,
it kind of
'cause this-
escalates, you know what I mean? And then, because Burai and
Unless-
him really don't have like a final fight.
Unless you give us the extended cut of this, where you show us what happened
Yeah,
after they
because they
do
kind of
their
split it in
name
half, and
drops.
you don't see really any of the second half.
Right, because if what the buildup was, because they do this buildup where the first thing they're like sparring, they're doing the Saiyan thing where like pretty good, and then they actually end up fucking each other up.
Yeah.
and then like
that fucking sparring match turns into like kicking dirt in the eyes accidentally, so they both get
Yeah.
pissed off.
it gets nasty. Like dude gets all right. So Tatsuya recognized. Oh, but before that, so just to touch on that, before they introduced themselves, the doctor was telling the story about this protective deity,
Yes.
CASSHERN,
Yes.
who protected them, and that's kind of where Tatsuya took into heart, where I'm going to protect people because that's just what I want to do.
Also, speaking of that, right when he comes to that epiphany, he stops one of the soldiers from killing a POW, and they have this really cool moment where he's like seeing his face on this soldier, and this soldier's like, but I had to because I'm a soldier, and like it's literally they like green screen his face onto this dude, and it's a really cool moment where he's
trippy.
facing his old self, you know what I mean? That's kind of the whole thing, and the doctor shoots this fucking soldier, just guns him down. The doctor. And he
no
goes
harm.
And then, you know, apparently at some point he said something like, you know, he heard the conversation where he's like, you know, we're both soldiers, whatever. It wasn't the exact conversation that was playing out for Tetsuya, but he heard something. Right. And Tetsuya's like, you heard all that, right? And the doctor's like, can you save my people? And he's like, King, hero time, bitch, let's go.
Yeah. And that's where you get a quick little. He does another number where they do this hero shot behind him versus another crowd. He does like
rips
this
the
nice
fucking thing off. Oh, I'm sorry. He doesn't rip it off. The soldier he drops rips it off.
Oh, that's right. And then he takes the gun from the. Is it the gun or the knife? No, he takes the blade from the soldier and he rips it through the guy. Right.
Yep.
It's
cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
And then, so this first half crescendos with Luna being taken with the other fourth Neo Sapien guy. I don't know his name.
So
it crescendos with that.
This.
Yeah. And while literally Barashin has him pinned to a wall and is carving the sword through his chest, he's like spraying blood onto this fucking thing. He like elbows him in the back of the head and starts running, and this door is closing behind them, right? And this big stone door is closing, and he's through, but Barashin grabs the katana that's still lodged in his chest and is like, you ain't going nowhere.
And he's twisting it. And
he's trying to pull it up and just cut through his shoulder. It's wild. So and he's like, motherfucker, we ain't done here.
So he pulls him away, and he realizes that he's not going to be able to get to the thing.
He doesn't pull him away. He fucking activates his rockets and fires off the sword.
Right. He pulls himself away.
Yeah. He activates the rockets and flies off the sword, and Barashin comes flying back, and the door's closed.
Barashin is pissed that he got away. So Tatsuya recognized that he's not going to be able to get to the thing. So he's like, fuck, what do I do?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's hearing Barashin lose his shit behind this wall.
Do you remember what Barashin says?
Oh my god, yes. But I'll let you say it, please.
He fucking goes, that's it. I'm just going to kill you all.
You see these huddled grandmas and these kids like hiding, and he starts saying, "Everybody's fucking dead.
Yeah,
you're all dead.
You're all fucking humans. You're all fucking dead. How about that?"
It's like, all right, everybody's fucking dead. And then Tetsuya's like, fuck.
He literally heavy sighs and like turns around.
He's like, all right, let's go. So he rockets back into the other thing, and the doors open.
Yeah, the doors open, and it's fucking
let's go, right? And that's where you have the moment where you realize where Tatsuya is now embracing the protector role, because he's not going to be able to be selfish and save the one thing that matters to him, which was a point that the doctor was saying. I think, can you save everybody? Can you choose one? Can you sacrifice the one you love
to save everyone? Yeah. And it comes back to that, he'll do what he has to for the greater good. It plays back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see that spun into like a hero aspect, right?
Yeah,
like not just like it kind of the idea of this whole movie is like, everyone's trying to get to the same goal, and that ends up causing conflict. And like everyone just wants fucking peace, but like these people think it's how we get this way. These people think it's this way, and you fucked everyone else up in the way to get to that one. So like that's the issue. So he just wants to fucking protect everyone for the greater good.
Now he's facing down this fucking angry ass Barishan.
Who goes, my name is Barishan, a Neo-Sapien.
But this is one of my favorite tropes in any media, is the honorable swordsman. Because before they fight, Tatsuya, even then, he's like, all right, this guy's tough.
Yeah.
I might not win. If I lose, if I lose or if I win, one of those, he goes, if I win, if you lose, please take care of the people of the village. And the guy's like, fair. Yeah. And that was it. There was no subterfuge. There was no underhandedness.
There was no you killed my booty call. Like, there was no any of that shit. He was just like, no, we are going to have a fight to the death, and whoever wins has to help.
Yep. And he's like, fair enough. Yeah. Fucking done. That is my favorite, one of my favorite tropes in any media. You pull that off just like this, and it didn't have build up. Like, it wasn't even a part of his character. You know what I'm saying? He was pissed and had every right to be. And yet at the same moment, he drops that little fucking dose of honor, and you're just like, well, okay. Yeah. All right then, bro. Bet. Fuck yeah. Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
So, but yeah, so, and even that, and then he introduces himself as CASSHERN. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And it's like, fucking A. And that's where they cut. That's where they stop the fight.
Cut to this boring ass like slaughter train bullshit.
Yeah, where you see all right, so this is like where you get the redeeming, the fourth Neo-Sapien saves Luna from being killed by this
crazy
psycho
dude.
The crazy doctor dude, who then is killed by Tatsuya's father, and then who after fatally wounding the fourth Neo-Sapien.
Was the crazy doctor guy, was that the lieutenant guy who was forcing Tetsuya to murder the POWs? Was that the same guy?
I think so.
I think so too.
Maybe.
The actors looked kind of the same. They also might just have the same haircut or something, and you see them both for 2 seconds. But
that aspect of the story is very weak because it's very shoehorned in, because it's like they do a lot of the bureaucratic shit just to have an excuse to hate those people. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's really just so that you understand, like, these people suck ass. Yeah, and these are, even the villains that you're supposed to be against are tragic villains, and these people are the real villains, but it's implied because they have the power that they're painting them as the villains, and that's really how it goes throughout the whole thing.
And like they're the asshole to the nth degree, to where like if they just ate an apple, they'd be the fucking scum of the earth.
Legit, it's even they call each other, like, there's one scene where they're all at this fucking table, and I think it's Naito actually. Naito is like, you're all just fucking worried about your own asses, aren't you?
After the son cuts the one dude down.
Yeah, he's like, you're just scared as shit, and you're pathetic. This is stupid.
He's like, and that's all just want this fucking project to work because you want to save your asses and make money.
You want to live forever. Yeah, it's fucking, you're gross, is what he calls them. Like, you're all fucking gross.
As and that's when they yucking it up.
And they basically take over at that moment, and then they run it their way, and that's when everything goes to shit, because that's just how things go. But so they cut back after that bullshit scene of the train thing to the two of them fucking murderized on the floor. They're like
splattered in blood.
All right, so like, I don't know if you thought this, but immediately my brain went to fucking Resurgence, where Raiden is like decrepit on the ground next to fucking
in pieces, literally.
Yeah, next to Jin. Is that his name? Lightning Jack?
Yeah, Lightning Jack, something like that. Yeah,
Lightning him, Jim. Like that. I was like, wow, okay, that's exactly this scene. They're just like defeated, and immediately it's just like you're just like, really. Okay, fine. Yeah,
I was like, I'm sure that fight was fucking cool. Kind of wish I saw it.
I'm sure it was, because they have stab wounds, they have slashes. There's like a missing hand, I think. Like,
your pure all white kinds of fucking outfit is now very red,
and it stays red. This suit takes a hurting, and it stays hurt,
and it's great.
He doesn't get a power up.
Nope.
He doesn't get a.
There's no like new shiny suit at the end of it. It's quite the opposite. He blows it off. He fucking uses the power of naked and transcends humanity, quite literally.
It's dope. It's
kind of cool. Yeah.
He turns into it's like the Mega Man thing when Mega Man dies. Like the warping. It's the reverse. But all right, so basically, like, it's implied that the guy's dying, and the one cool thing, it's very fucking Blade Runner. If you guys remember that Blade Runner, that they had these visions when they died about this utopia type thing, and that's what he was having. The Barishin is having paradise visions, and it's implied that these visions are coming from what Midori talked about to them, about what's in the afterlife, what's waiting for them, and it's cool because it's a consistent thing. Because the Luna chick was saying the same thing before as she was dying. And then, so CASSHERN survives that barely. He's like hanging on to dear life. And
no, he's not. He doesn't really survive. He's kind of just dying on the ground. And eventually, the slaughter train works its way back to the original laboratory. And this is the part where I thought you were going to ask me about, and I have no fucking idea. So, I don't fucking know, man.
There's a Kronk thing moment where they're like, it doesn't make any sense. We're just gonna go with it.
We're just gonna go with it. We're gonna let it happen because the lightning bolt, another lightning bolt hits the town where CASSHERN is, and the one that struck the cesspool shatters, and CASSHERN is inside of it. No fucking clue. Couldn't tell you at all. It felt like I don't know how to get him back there, so let's fucking do this.
The writer sat in the room.
Kazuaki Kiria wrote it, the director.
That's what then he had even more. He's like, I don't know, but okay.
Yeah,
we're doing.
He was like, I have this scene and I have this scene. They are great. How do we get him from here to here because he's back here and we can't have him go back because that doesn't make
magic fucking lightning bolt. Magic fucking lightning bolt.
I want to fucking magic lightning bolt. And we're like, okay, just fucking go with it. Sure. Why not?
Why?
The statues throw another lightning bolt. There you go.
You're gonna tell him? Are you gonna? He punched me in the eye last week. Fuck you. You tell him.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's directors like this that get the shit done though. So
and it's
like,
great.
Regardless what happened, he Deus Ex lightning bolts there.
Yep.
And that's where you get the final sequence where and it's kind of a shorthand too, because you don't get a final fight between he and Burai.
I also just realized, and I don't mean to interrupt you again. I also just realized he teleports to the laboratory for Burai to take him back to Zone 7 where they just fucking came from.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so they're in Zone 7. That's where the castle is, Burai Castle, where the Dio Sapiens, make their home base. They find this castle that develops this fucking army. They make all the robots. That's where they're stationed now, is in Zone 7. He's in Zone 7 in a town, gets whatever fucking lightning bolt teleported back to the lab for Burai to take his ass back to the castle. And it makes even less sense now. So, could have just had Burai, like, mourn his friend, scoop up CASSHERN. Could have been the same thing. Azuma could have gone to him.
No. Instead, we have a horrible feels ending. I would have preferred a Super Saiyan fight.
Yeah?
I really would have, because at
it bummed you the fuck
point
out?
In the movie, all right. So let's plow into the ending here. So it's implied that Burai's fucking heading towards the main guys now, right? And he finally tracks them down, and he's got this mega death bomb that's counting down on a fucking hand dial, old school clock hand dial.
Well, that's
just because
that's not before him and CASSHERN have a little spat where he talks about being, Dr. Azuma made us both, so we're technically brothers.
Listen, one little moment, I'm gonna give you that, because there is a moment where Tatsuya finally sees his mom. She's in sleep. She's in the dark realm, sleeping or whatever.
She's fucking dead.
Right. She's dead. Yeah. And he's like, "What did you do to my mom?" And he's like, "She's asleep." And he says, "Bullshit." And the very next thing, he's flying through a fucking wall into the next room.
And then they have this weird, like, spinning camera cut fight, and it ends with CASSHERN fucking dying in the throne.
Yo, he beats his ass, right? In an aggressive Big Brother type of stop sit down type of way. You know what I mean? Like everything CASSHERN's trying to do, Burai's like, knock it off, you stupid shit, just like stopping him, right? And he beats his ass into his throne, sits him down, like cuffs him down and goes, will you be my friend or not?
Are you gonna be my bestie?
And please name this episode, Will You Be My Friend? Because that's literally all this movie is. And he goes, no. And he's like, fuck you then. And he walks away. And he leaves him to die in the throne.
Yeah. And then the weirdest part. This is the weirdest cut in the movie for me. We do this weird, like, time-lapse cut. And he's gone from the throne. Like, it basically fades. He's gone from the throne. And Luna is let into this other room where there's 2 fucking coffins.
I don't understand the ending.
And there's a plot of dirt with plants coming out, and I was like, is he fucking dead?
This is where I was talking about, where a lot of scenes are happening simultaneously with the same dialogue and the same thing, but different outcomes. And that's where you're not quite sure. I mean, you know what the reality is because the reality is the reality, but which outcome are we going with? You know what I mean? Like, I understand he could choose to live in a different reality, and that's kind of what they're saying here. Like, his mind is broken. So so anyway, this fucking ass whooping happens, and he comes back from the Shadow Realm ready for round 2 to stop the bomb. And Luna is with the people above, and the 4th Neo Sapien dude is already dying, and that's kind of what pissed off Burai to do the end game, because when the 4th Neo Sapien dude died, he also
literally
saw
lost
visions.
Everyone.
Yeah, he had nothing left. And again, it's not to say Burai's a dick. You know what I mean? Like what he does is awful, but he's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's awful. I'm not gonna excuse it, but it's like, fuck, he's losing people because of the worst people. You know what I mean? So,
and it's like, anyway, honestly, on a certain level, like, I'd probably do that shit too if I was pissed off enough, honestly. Like, if I watched every person I've known murdered in front of me, I'd probably go that way too, honestly.
For nothing other than existing.
Nothing.
They didn't even have a choice in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't even like they were like, hey, guess what? We're a thing. No, it's just like, what happened?
Like,
bang, bang, bang,
if
bang,
I
bang.
happen to come across a fucking metallic army, I'd probably go scorched earth policy at that point too. Like, fucking Jesus.
It's a risk you take. But so, all right. So the final thing is where Burai's chasing down the final general dude, and he lays a truth bomb on Burai that I still am like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Burai was also suffering from like headaches, and he'd have these flashes of memories that we couldn't really understand. He would just see like curtains, and I think at one point he just saw like a woman's face or something like that. We would just see these weird flashes. We didn't know what they were. I didn't remember what the twist was, so I thought it was kind of like Frankenstein remembers the past of whatever piece he was from, kind of thing.
The amalgam of whatever he is.
Yeah. Not too far off.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because fucking leader of the SSSP over here drops the truth bomb that you're all just normal fucking humans. You're from the Fertile Crescent, and we just wanted guess what? Yeah, we wanted to be more like you, so we hacked you up into pieces and just wanted your cells so that we could further our fucking people.
Dude, so Tatsuya, the war that he went to, okay, the prisoner of war that he shot so callously was Burai's wife.
Yep, and daughter.
I'm sorry, because he shot them both.
Baby itty bitty daughter.
Yeah, shot them both.
Yep, and Burai watched him do this shit. Yep, and then they killed Burai.
And Tatsuya didn't remember that right away.
No, he didn't remember that at all.
And then Burai, when he realizes this. When he realizes that he's human and hates, guys, you gotta think about the last bastion of hope that he had, that he felt superior to these menial humans, these petty humans. I can't even be in the same species as these fucking things. Yeah. Wait, really?
Yeah.
I am. I'm exactly like you.
Original human.
I'm
Wild.
just like you.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
And he chooses to go out like that. And the guy, the general dude, starts shooting at him as Borai's just dashing at him. You can tell he's gonna rip his fucking head off.
Yep.
And then the general dude has an ace up his sleeve.
It's a grenade.
It's a grenade.
It's a fucking
Which
grenade.
is G move. That's a me right there. That's I got you.
There's one more G move that happens not too long after that. But as this is happening, CASSHERN is running up this robot. I'll get to it in a second. This running up this robot to try and stop the nuke, essentially. And it has like this 2-hand clock thing that's counting down, and he's trying to hold it back as he's remembering this, essentially. And Burai's coming because they're kind of cutting between the two, and Burai's getting this realization, and we learn that Tetsuya is the one who killed his family and Burai itself. And you find out that this is quite literally a Lazarus pool. It's not necessarily like growing new humans, it's resurrecting the old ones. So it's just building those. So we see that Barishin and the doctor used to know were father and son. Barishin helped him with the stuff he was working on, so he knew Frender is best boy, just so you guys know.
Frender is best boy.
The first girl that dies, the first Neo-Sapien, is Barishin's actual girlfriend. That's why he had the hots for her. They were together when they were normal human, not resurrected humans. That makes
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then also the fourth Neo-Sapien buddy, he was actually playing an accordion and wanted to play an accordion. But all of them, that utopia you were talking about, I should also mention that like they all have this vision of those angel statues in them. Whenever they show them, things like that. The fourth Neo-Sapien has a really cool animated, like almost like an Edgar Allan Poe looking thing going on.
They're all cool. Yeah,
they're all really cool, but his is very like it's a cartoon. And you know, it's all these birds that kind of fly onto the statue and then fly away, and then they come back when he's dying. So yeah, the theme in there is this utopia is from these angel statues that are kind of just littered across the world, apparently. So yeah.
So all right, so Tatsu, I'm trying to see if I can get a still of his face, but I can't stress to you how the performances pulled through in these moments, because again, this movie is drawn out like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But Tatsuya, here, I think I can capture it, but there's the moment that you were just talking about, how Tatsuya realizes what he did to Barishin, right?
Yep.
I think I've got it right here. And it's literally just a scream.
Yeah.
I got it there. But I'm gonna try to see if it loads. But it's the 2 hours of buildup that you feel like you're screaming with them. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. And it's like the perfect moment where like it all crescendos, right? Like you learn all of these things and you see how it all like it's basically a wagon wheel, right? Like it all started here and it fucking spiraled out into this bigger picture. And like it all hits there, and as he's screaming is when it kind of like sets in for you, and it's so well done. It's so fucking great.
By a fucking nuke of an explosion.
Yeah, followed by a fucking nuke.
Followed by, so like it did. If it had to end there, I would have preferred it, because oh my god, this movie takes that knife and digs it 3 feet deeper. You guys, all right. So the day is saved. CASSHERN survives the explosion
because weird angel energy. That's essentially what it is.
Yes.
I don't know how else to describe
digitized, weird. Yeah, it looks like Enochian language.
Yeah,
that's
almost,
like all around them,
which makes sense because they're a bunch of angels.
So Barishin is like a flame.
He's literally standing there on fire. He's like,
so as he's like burning, he's just like, I don't see anything. That sucks.
Yeah.
And that's fucking.
Yep. And he just roasts and he keels over. That's it.
And dies.
Yep.
And it's just like, it's so like, fuck, man. Like he went through all that and he can't even like get a happy moment in death.
Yep.
Like not even dying. My man can't even get paradise. Fuck.
Yeah.
And then so
Dad shows up.
I can't do this part. You got to do this part, man.
So Dad shows the fuck up and goes, "Where's my wife?" And so he grabs Midori and is starting to leave. Luna's still alive, by the way, the girlfriend, the fiance, or wife at this point. I don't know. They might have been married before he went off to war. I don't know. But Luna's still around, CASSHERN's girl, and you know is like, "Hey, what? Okay, cool." it starts to dad carries mom away, and CASSHERN just kind of like rockets over. And he lands, he comes back, and they have another like father-son spat where they're like, like, we just got to stop this. This is ridiculous. Hate is breeding all this shit. Yeah. We need to stop.
You know what you're going to do. You're going to just give her the cells to bring her back to life. And that's kind of,
and it's going to start the cycle over and over and over again. So he drops her because they have a moment or something, and CASSHERN picks her up and starts to walk away so that he can't revive her. So fucking Dr. Azuma takes out his piece and just kills Luna.
Bro, okay, so he says to his son, so you want to know what it is to love? He fucking just taps the back of Luna's head.
Yep.
No emotion, no hesitation.
Yep. And it's like, basically he says, I want you to know how I feel. Bam!
This is what it is to love, my boy. Bam! And he shoots her in the back of the head, and she's done.
And she keels over onto Burai's body, and that's it. That's fucking it.
Done. And then there's this. Okay, so I don't know if that clip loaded at all, but listen, it did. Whatever face that I was just talking about, he made there pales in comparison to. There's obviously it lets you have that moment. It shows you what just happened. Yep. You see this fucking, I can't express it to you guys. 2 hours with this movie, and she's just gone.
So imagine, remember when we talked about in Hokkaido, the fucking the shameless offing of that one dude?
Yeah.
Imagine the serious version of that.
Yes, like the no joking, like the not haha one. The very ooh. Okay, yes, that shit. So it's no jokes. Tatsuya is like, he's talking to his mother, trying to explain to her why he can't fulfill his promise.
Yep.
Why he has to embrace the fight again.
Yep.
And the whole thing is like this talk, this jaunty little conversation. You can tell he's saying this because he's about to rip his father's head off.
Yeah. And he does.
Slowly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it is this face of like, you are dead.
Yeah.
And there's no force.
I'm tearing out your heart and feeding it to you so I can rip it out again.
Yes.
Period.
There's no existence after this. You are obliterated when I'm done with you.
And you know what? After that little talk, it hard cuts to his dad's body on the ground and his hand just dripping blood. Dripping. It is solid red.
Pouring it. And it is lovely.
Beautiful.
Lovely. Because no matter what happens, and it's kind of good that you don't see it, because I just want to envision whatever he did to him. And that's okay. Because I can get creative every time I want to think about it. So
it's just wild. And then after all of that, Luna wakes back up.
Does she?
Yeah.
Oh my
because
God.
She basically gets the cells from Burai's body. So it kind of like does the Enochian magic thing, and she wakes the fuck up. And she's like, oh, I'm a Neo-Sapien now too.
But
okay. And really. So they start to embrace each other, and they're talking about how like hate is just breeding hate, and this cycle's never going to continue, and we have to leave if we want to get away from this fighting. And as they're having this other talk about how Endgame and like, you know, it's just an endless cycle and fighting and all this stuff, that all of like the souls on the battlefield that they just ravaged with this nuke and all this shit are just gathering. They're just fucking gathering
like
around
Goku status. Yeah, guys. Like Goku's like basically piling them all up, and everything's gonna be all right.
Yep.
And it's this happy moment where you could tell this. I don't know. It's like this cosmic unification of all the dead souls.
I interpreted it as like everyone's want for peace kind of coming together, like every side of it, you know, in a metaphorical sense. And so like they're kissing, they're embracing each other, and she rips his suit off, and they fucking space fruit Jesus into the sky.
And that's it.
And that's fucking it. As they're flying by planets, you see all of the characters in this movie, like Tetsuya and Luna are on a bike, and I thought she was gonna fall the fuck off that bike. I was terrified, but like they're super happy. Barashin's with his dad, they're super happy. Burai's with his wife again. All of this stuff, and the movie just fucking fades out as they're falling to another planet.
Yep.
Holy fucking shit.
Wait,
they just piece the fuck out. They're like, later, yo.
Like, there's this now. You're still clutching your chest because your heart has been ripped out from this ending.
Kind of like his dad's.
Yeah. No, because that was ripped out from his ass.
Yeah.
So you get this sense, and again, I think it takes one or two watches to really see the multiple levels of this movie. Once for the plot, which is absolutely bananas. But two, for the symbolism and the cinematic genius that went into this movie.
Yep.
Minus the lens flare, minus those little things that are just
there's a couple things in here that are like, this is very 2004, like you were saying.
But there's more to this movie that I really like. And I don't think that without the previous appreciation for film or this guy's work, it would take a level of appreciation to have it like we do. Does that make sense? Like, you might be a fan, but those who have an idea of like color grading, lighting, all that stuff can get another level out of this kind of filming. Yeah,
absolutely. And like, I think this is a good example of, if you want to kind of like dip your toe into that kind of stuff, this is cool because it's, it's anime inspired. It's got some martial arts stuff going on. It's
very artsy.
It's extremely artsy. It plays with color really well. It does these crazy shots you just don't see in a lot of movies, if at all, really, other than from this guy. It's if you want to kind of see like what we're talking about, just watch this movie, because it is very different from even a lot of the movies we talk about on this show. And not just in the big brain thinky aspect. Like, it's just shot differently. And it's very cool. And like I said, that's one of the things that got me into fucking film, was this movie. So very interesting time to look at this movie again, because getting back into it, it's definitely lighting that spark again.
I'm blown away in a lot of ways that I don't know, man. Like 2004, it's a whole nother era in a lot of filming techniques. But I don't think if I had watched it in 2004, I would have had the level of appreciation that I do now. So
do you want to do you want me to date it, and like, do you want me to give you an idea of what 2004 was for video games, to kind of put that in perspective, how long ago it was?
Yeah.
So that was the year Onimusha 3 came out.
That was a good year.
That was a good year. World of Warcraft launched that year.
Oh, shit.
Knights of the Old Republic 2 also came out that year. Half-Life 2 came out that year. Halo 2 came out. God damn, that was a fucking year. Jesus.
Damn.
Yeah, Jesus. There's a lot of things fucking came out that year. Okay, that was a goddamn year. Mortal Kombat Deception. Good one.
Oh, that was a great one.
That was a good one. Yeah, so that just puts that in. Metroid Prime 2 came out that fucking year. If that dates anyone. Chronicles of Riddick 2, the video game. Escape from Butcher Bay.
Oh, I beat that the first day it came out. That was dope. Oh my god.
Fable 1 came out in 2004.
Ew.
Fable 1 was great.
No, it wasn't.
Fable 1 was great. The rest of them are trash.
I don't remember much about them. I'm just talking shit.
The first one was
that.
great.
I know that you could, like, you don't even get to kill the bad guy at the very end, and that's
no. You turn him into a fucking sword if you want to, and it's the most powerful sword in the game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
It's great. And then they nerfed it into like
that,
whatever anniversary edition they did, the Lost Chapters or whatever. They nerfed the hell out of it, and I was like, that's dumb.
So, final thoughts on CASSHERN, other than you love it?
I would lick this movie. If I had the physical copy of it, I would lick this fucking movie. So that's my final thoughts. Yeah.
Well, definitely check this out if you have the appreciation for film techniques, for artsy, not artsy fartsy, just artsy film.
Yeah. Unique film.
I like
unique cinematography.
Yeah, I like where this went. It has a lot of our kind of action bop to it, so it's Toku at its wackiest sometimes. Yeah. So,
and this is also it's if you also want to just kind of experience Tokusatsu in a different way that isn't your typical like hero subgenre. This is a good way to do that, because this is not your typical like henshin hero justice kaijin.
This isn't your typical anything. This takes what you know and for example. So before we started, I kind of mentioned how the dichotomy between the two topics that we were going to get into today are polar opposites.
Yeah,
weirdly, and that's kind of like coming down from this giant, massive movie. Felt pretty good to just chill out for a bit, because we go from that to feeling very similar to like a fucking episode of Gaim, like where you have the same 7 sets and all they do is cycle between them.
Yep.
And I'm okay with it. Like, I think we have the same street tunnel, that same archway. I don't know. There's a couple shots in here that look familiar. But yeah, basically what we're saying is we also checked out that orc thing that everybody was talking about.
Yes, we checked out Project Orc. So this is an indie tokusatsu, if you guys are not familiar. It's an indie tokusatsu that is, oh god, is sorry if that was very loud, people. But it's an indie tokusatsu that was created and came out this year, and one of the most interesting aspects of it is it was shot entirely on an iPhone, which is wild.
Listen, I'm dropping something in the Discord right now. Let me show you their rig.
Their fucking rig.
This is their rig. Oh, please load. Oh no. Is it not loading?
I don't know what this is. I don't know what an AVIF file is. I don't know what you're trying to send me.
What is that? Oh god. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can take a picture of a picture.
But yeah, they shot it all on an iPhone, which is kind of wild. Which, like, if you guys listen to this, ever wanted to make your own tokusatsu, there you go. That's a pretty good start. I'm just saying, we all have smartphones at this point for the most part, so it's a great way to do it. I hadn't really heard about this project until, I don't know, Tokusatsu Network did a thing on it right before it came out, about a month or two before it came out. Yeah, this is a story about two people who, again, kind of have similar endgame goals of protecting their loved one, and this leads to their conflict. And I'm realizing how much I kind of love that story trope, I guess. I don't even know what to call it a trope, but just that story. Where like two people with pretty solid motivations just kind of, are at odds, and it's interesting to me.
There's a quote in CASSHERN that actually kind of relates to this. There's a quote where Midori says, "Not everybody is right all the time, and not everybody is wrong all the time."
Yeah. And
in this movie, that's kind of the truth here, where you have a character in, oh my god, Domon? Is his name Domon? Daimon, sorry. The red one.
Yes.
The red orc.
Daimon-sama.
Daimon, thank you. Where his character is not necessarily villainous, but he does some very evil shit.
Because his wife was murdered.
Yeah, which is kind of like it's implied that excuse me, it's implied that his wife was murdered by this fucking rando, and like he
literal rando.
Yeah, because he's such a goody, like a sense of justice person. He went after this dude and antagonized the situation even worse, and got his wife ganked. Because the guy came back, and after that moment, like, it broke him, and all of a sudden, this one of the best characters, I think, Witch, shows up. She hams the shit out of her performance.
She's a fucking agent of chaos. It's great.
Dude, I love her character. She is so much fun because she's just like, there's performance, and then there's this level of like ham that I just can't even express.
Yeah. It's like ham that's kind of expected in tokusatsu, right? But it's also just like, I can kind of buy it, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't corny.
It works. Yeah, like I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay with it because it's not like, I don't know, I guess because she pulls it off so well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So her performance works, but it really is like if Rita Repulsa toned it down but
Yeah.
looked better. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's
And
it's
essentially,
that
so
level
we
of
have these two
ridiculous.
characters. I forget the main kid's name.
Takumi.
So Takumi is kind of hanging out. His parents just died, unfortunately, in a car crash. So he's depressed. He's fucking depressed.
Yeah.
And like the only thing kind of keeping him going is his friend, who's very bubbly and kind of very, I don't want to say stereotypical, but very typical, like bubbly anime.
She's
girl,
anime.
right?
Yeah,
she's bubbly anime.
She's
girl.
very anime.
She's very like Takumi-san, you know,
You're
that kind of thing.
You're so funny. Yeah, that kind of shit.
And
yeah.
so because he's down in the dumps, my man meets Witch, and she gives him this yellow stone, and yeah, she says it'll grant you a wish. And yeah.
So, but when he touches it, he gets this vision of the future.
Yes.
And it's unfortunately the face of Nozomi. Nozomi is
yes.
his friend's name. And it's her face that's got this death face on it, and it like fractures away into a different
to this
face.
other person, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, what the fuck was that? And she's like, well, if you don't like that, do something about it and keep the stone. And he's like, yeah, okay. And like, I mean, sure, I would too. So it's just weird where he's just like, I saw this weird thing. It's kind of weird, but leave me alone. You're fucking weird. You know what I mean? It's a teen angsty thing. So I get
because again, he's depressed.
That.
He's like, I just want everyone to leave me the fuck alone. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And
so,
you know, if I had seen that personally, I was talking about muscle busters. I'd find that motherfucker and be the first one to muscle buster their ass from like 3 stories up. So,
but
you know,
so
that's just
it's his birthday apparently, and he Nozomi invites him out that night, and they go fucking have ice cream or some shit.
Yeah.
And they see this red flash on a rooftop, and that ends up being the red orc dude who's just having a power flash, because apparently he suffers from power flashes and murder rages and shit like that, because this is just what happens to him.
Yep.
So,
and I assumed that part was kind of an influence of Witch kind of thing.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Like there's not let's not go crazy here. This isn't like a big mystery thing. There's not like a whole lot of mystery to this story. They're not trying to do like Sherlock. This is very just have fun with what we're telling you, and let's just let it rock. Because
I'm sorry, I also said his parents died in a car crash. That's not correct in any way.
No, I'm sorry.
They were killed.
Correction.
Yeah, they were killed. I don't know why I said car crash, because usually it's that kind of shit in these.
Because it's usually that. Exactly. Yeah.
They're killed, and he saw it, and so he's fucked up.
Yeah. And he saw the guy who killed him, and he has this weird little
he does this like hand thing where he's just like rubbing his hand, massaging it.
Yeah.
And so when they go to the roof with the orc, the guy's doing it, right? And then he goes, yo, the guy who killed my parents did that. And then he says, so you find out that Daimon-sama is a substitute teacher at his school. And the opening scene with the two of them is some kid trying to kill himself, by the way.
Like trying to jump off a roof. He's
trying to jump off a roof, and like everyone's just watching. Him and Daimon are like having this conversation of like, you know, whatever, humanity, whatever, that kind of thing. And then he says some quote, and I forget what the quote is, but he says some quote. And so they get to the roof where this red orc dude is, and he says the exact same quote. So he goes, wait, Daimon, what the fuck?
It's something like it's not my problem, or you should leave me alone. Something like that. Some kind of edgelord
like
shit.
You shouldn't stick your nose in other people's business kind of thing.
Don't stick your mind your own business, some shit like that. But it's literally that. And then dude just like, so they end up like, he's trying to confront him, and Nozomi's like, he talks to Nozomi, and then he fucking bitch slaps the shit out of him. Like Takumi's like all of a sudden just like against the wall. He's like, oh my god.
He just like flies into the wall and falls down, and he's like, oh, I could use you to fucking resurrect my wife. Cool.
So when Takumi's like on the floor, and he has his Toku moment where he sees his driver or his device, and he sees the orc stone, and he grabs it, and it does like this power surge. It's kind of a cool effect. Like you could tell like they did enough with the effects that it doesn't look as low budget as it could. So that was a cool little effect. It like shoots up his arm, and they do this cool thing where they run up the arm with the camera and go into his eye, and it does this. So the designs are based on frogs. I don't know if you knew that. The orcs themselves are based on frogs, which I didn't get at first. I didn't quite get frog, but you know, now that I learned that, some of the things make more sense, like the tongue thing. The tongue thing.
Yeah. But he gets this cool like frog eye thing, and then I realized, oh, that makes sense because like Naruto does the frog eye thing when he goes sage mode, all that shit. So yeah, I see it.
Oh, that's what that is then. That makes sense.
So it like turns into a frog eye, and then he becomes like big dick energied for a minute and starts to fight him like without his orc suit on. So he just like learns how to fight from this thing. And like they do this really cool effect where there's water drops, where I'm assuming it's kind of like the power building sort of thing.
I felt like that was like the surge, like the boom, like
That's
like
the closest we get to a henshin, honestly, in this show. You get these water drops, and then there's this like yellow ink that kind of spreads out more and more. And as it spreads, they do this really cool effect, almost like Kuga and Akito when they first henshin. It does this like cutting, and you see like the arm transforms, and then they cut, and he turns again, and like the back of him, he's wearing the shirt and the helmet, kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, he like spins the second time, and he's in his full outfit, ready to rock. And it's pretty cool.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, considering that this was shot on an iPhone.
On an iPhone. Like, can't stress that enough. It's a fucking iPhone.
On an iPhone.
Yeah.
Like we can do this tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
We
like,
could.
My man.
It's not gonna be as good, but we definitely could.
No, it won't. It definitely won't. I mean, they used to. Anyway,
wait,
so
hang on. I gotta show you something. Go ahead, keep talking. I want to show you something.
So he gets the power up, and then they manage to fight him off, and you get this implication that he suffers from the power surge, the after effects. So Takumi's like heaving in the sink, and he's like, I can't, but I gotta stop him. So they like dedicate to try to find him again because they can't let him fulfill whatever evil thing that he's gonna do because he killed my parents, goddammit. So Takumi's like looking for revenge, and it's kind of like this weird school drama. You could tell like they were almost gonna do that again because all they do
So this is a picture of the rig, and I showed Rob before this. I have a new toy that is very, very similar to what they're using, and that makes me more excited to play with my new toy. So
we like toys. I like toys like that. That's fucking cool. That's fucking cool.
I like toys.
So I mean, look, all right, guys. Like honestly, we went to school for this shit a million years ago, and we had access to bananas equipment, banana rigs, crazy ass lights, shit that would just like we could set up and it would look like a trash can. But this was shot on a phone, and it might be a little blue, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Like it's not bad.
Pretty much is they had like some fucking construction lights and some bounce boards and a smoke machine, and they made it fucking work. So
they made a toku. They made a toku.
They made a fucking toku, guys.
Like I
that's the most impressive part about this.
Like we struggled so hard to make fucking haha videos. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, it's so inspiring. Frustrating because it's like if only we had 10 years difference. If we had this shit, oh my god, you guys, like
wild
the shit that we would be able to do. With the time that we had, we kids.
Yep.
Anyway, my point is that you should be inspired by this kind of shit. It's not amazing because it's not supposed to be. He didn't have $1 million. My man did this with a shoestring budget and actors who had a free weekend. So
and you know what? It turned out pretty fucking amazing, to be honest, in the grand scheme of things.
If I know you checked out the behind the scenes stuff. The majority of the actors, this is their first time doing a toku anything. The suit actors, the witch herself, this is her first toku role, and she stole the damn show. So like you can't ever go into a low budget thing and expect an amazing thing, but you get gems, you get things like this. And regardless what the rest of the story is, it follows, it's a beat by beat linear thing, of course, but you don't need anything extra. You don't need anything more than that when it works. Takumi follows him. He manages to kidnap her. He tries to do this juju that the witch tells him he can do to resurrect his wife that got killed. Takumi tracks his ass down. They have a fight. They talk no jutsu, and then they fight the witch. That's literally it. And it works. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's 45 minutes long, and like there's no fuss, no nothing. It's fucking boop, 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 boop. We're here. We're done. We made a toku. What's up?
And look at these designs. Like
Yeah.
You didn't even know the frog. You don't even get frog. You get demon. And yet, if it weren't for the tongue thing and her literally saying frog, I wouldn't have got that either.
Which one do you like, red or yellow?
The red is nice.
I like that's fine. I like yellow a lot. I like the fucking Shaolin fucking sleeve he's got going on. It's so dope.
It's just our vibes, man. These suits were made for us. I dig the cloak look with the high collar. It's just my thing.
Yeah, and he does fucking fire magic too. Like,
listen,
Red Orc is just this you.
So listen, full spoilers, okay? So my man is like he goes full rogue on trying to bring his wife back. He's just like, fuck you, dude. Like, me, right?
Yeah.
And then he fucking has a moment where he's like, I'm being a real asshole. Like,
he literally goes like, oh fine. Shit, I'm a dick.
Okay. he literally is like, I could have killed you, but I'm not gonna. Like, he pulls back his final punch just because he felt bad.
Yeah.
He's like,
damn, that's a kid. I don't want to murder this child.
I'm just not gonna do it. But other than that, my man had it in the bag. He had his plan done. He even was gonna kill the witch. He just needed an extra punch. You know what I mean? Like, literally Takumi just threw the tongue to hold her in place while he landed that fucking punch.
Yep.
So it's just like, I love this. I love the character, and then he gives his, and he does the ultimate sacrifice to do it. But damn it, he went out like a fucking G. You don't even see it. My man is just, he does the Benkei thing where he's just like there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Dies on his feet, fucking, like what's his face from Black Sun?
G. Yeah, I'm saying fucking G. He's just a G with it, man. Yeah. So ultimately, they you get these characters that are just your typical characters, but they're fun.
Yeah.
I'm guilty. I'm really guilty with these red characters.
Yeah, fucking you are. You fucking easy. You're easy red.
Easy.
Just put a collar on it, make it red. You're fine.
A high collar red.
Yeah. If you guys ever want Rob to just approve of your character, they could be the biggest scum of the fucking earth. Just put them a collar and a fucking red. That's all you got to do.
I'm good.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you need.
But other than that, a bunch of behind the scenes shit. I know you got more than I did, but all it really is this is just a bunch of jump offs, guys. This is like first timers, ambitious people got on the grind, made the shit happen.
Yep.
And it's impressive. Just check it out. 45 minutes. If you got 2 hours for CASSHERN, you got 45 minutes for this.
Yeah.
No contest.
No contest. And it is kind of like what you're saying. It'd be interesting to watch them like back to back. And if anyone has fucking 3 hours, I mean, most of you probably have 3 hours to just do whatever with. But like, it's interesting to see like two spectrums of Toku to kind of compare them like that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
The performances are good too.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff like sorry, when they were filming, a lot of subtle tricks like the Toku stuff that they didn't know. the helmet dudes, they're like they're yelling and fist fighting inside the thing, and they're like, you don't have to do that, but you can. And that they're legit like they're grunting and throwing each other, and like it's so cool. Like they're like wrestling each other inside the suits. It's fucking dope. Like you could tell the level of a commitment that they had. You know what I'm saying? Like there's scenes where you could tell this is shot in the winter, so they're speaking and the clouds of their breath is fogging up the camera sight, so they're like, you don't have to speak, we can ADR that in, just kind of mouth the words and go to. And he's like, oh okay, I didn't know you could do that. And it's like, really? Oh, you guys are adorable.
Like, oh you mean I don't just swing my legs? Okay, cool.
just you appreciate it because of the shit we went through. But it doesn't detract from it. The product that they came out with, really good.
Yeah, it is very cool. And just in general, you guys should support indie tokusatsus because they are the shit. And I would love to check out more of them. So I'm excited to see where this goes. They kind of doing like their big social media campaign right now, promoting the movie, doing all kinds of stuff on like TikTok, things like that. It's at Project Orc 2022 on Twitter. If you guys want to follow any of that, and I'm sure all their other handles and things are in there. The channel itself is in Japanese, but it has a link in there on Twitter if you guys want to do that. And this is a great little ditty. Everyone should go watch it. It's Orc, and I know it's only on YouTube for a limited time, so hopefully you guys can see it by the time you listen to this episode.
So, before we get off the subject, the Toku minutes are blowing up. And one of the ones that I did, we had a shout out. And he specifically mentioned this. He's an older fan, kind of our age, and he kind of mentioned how this felt like a throwback to traditional week to week, you know what I mean, like
Monster of the Week sort of thing. Yeah.
Toku. Yeah, and he was like he wishes that this kind of stuff would come back. So, you know, with Geats, with the stuff we have now, it's hard to imagine going back to something like this with the crazy stories we have now. But I don't see it out of the realm. Like,
there's definitely a place for it.
There is. It's just outside of Sentai, because with Sentai, that's all you get most of the time. But I'm just saying, like, I could see something like that, and I appreciate his take on it because he is an older dude like us. So it's fun to see like this kind of shit. I want more of this, guys. Yeah. Please embrace your ideas, embrace them, create them. Every day I write another 5 sentences in that damn story because I can't. My ideas is like hitting a wall, but at least I'm trying. You know, like. It's all you can do is try. I know it's tough. I know we never really have time, but
and like we're trying to make time. Like we're both working on stuff right now. You're working on that. You know, Jem just announced that he announced it that we've been working on the next short that he's going to be doing, a Zorono short. So I'm very excited to be working on that. We're going to film that pretty soon, and you guys are going to see more of that and more details and things. But I'm co-writing that one. I'm also working on a Toku project of my own, and also converting an old project from the dead into a Toku thing.
Which we do. We tend to do that a lot.
So,
sorry guys.
I'm really excited. You know, like I said, I bought a new toy to start filming things. So I think we're starting to get a bunch of people who are into that kind of stuff, and you know, those fires are being lit again, which is really exciting because that shit hasn't happened in years. So cool, I'm excited. Man. Make sure you guys stay tuned and just kind of keep an eye out on all of our channels and things like that. You know, Jem's channel is at Pronghorn Heroes on YouTube. He's at Pronghorn Jem on Twitter if you want to follow him. Updates, things like that. His Lost Nago short is out now. You guys can check that out. That's a Kamen Rider short film. Very cool. Very awesome.
Very good.
And you know, we bounce ideas off each other for that kind of shit all the time. Very excited to see where that stuff goes. And you want to show your shit?
So I don't understand a word of this stuff. It's a Japanese YouTube channel that I just saw while we were starting. But it's called Mirai Shinsei Starnizer. They only have 328 subscribers, but I just checked this little video out. This looks like another indie thing. But guys got like
I got a bunch of anime things. Can you send the link?
Yeah, I'm there. It's in the Discord.
Okay.
So this is their opening thing, but it looks like just a bunch of people that got together to make like a
Sentai type thing,
like a superhero.
It looks almost like Legend Heroes, honestly.
Yeah, but it's like a compilation. There's like a Sailor Scout. There's I don't know.
Almost like the what did we watch? The local hero, fucking Tyson show.
Superhero time type of thing where there's a bunch of different ones. Anyway, it looks like there's the one I wanted to bring was this guy right here. He looks like a Kamen Rider Sentai guy. I don't know. It's the blue looks. It looks like a homemade outfit. I kind of dig.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looks like a pretty interesting character. Even though this was 6 years ago, but it's just I just saw it and I'm like, that's cool as shit.
Dang, so, I will have to watch this.
Shout outs to these people.
Yeah, because this is an hour long. I just watched a 2-hour fucking CASSHERN movie. I don't know if I'm ready for another hour.
We need a break. Our brains are fried. Yep. So if you guys would forgive us, we need to go recharge.
Yep. But this looks really cool. It's Mirai Shinsei Starnizer is the channel.
Yeah.
And then everything else seems to be in Japanese. So yeah.
It looks like so
very cool, very cool.
That's pretty much it. We're gonna get out of here. If you guys are interested in my stuff, you can check out my YouTube channel, Six Echoes. I do a bunch of spooky stuff there. Other than that, I have all of our Toku minutes on the TikTok channel and on our socials. TikTok is Tokudon_Six Echoes. Other than that, find me here on Sundays with this crazy psychopath.
I wear that title with pride. Thank you. Yeah, I'm here 4 days a week, actually. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And it's twitch.tv/KaijuCarl if you're watching in the future times. You can follow me on YouTube. There's the Tokudon YouTube page where I upload all the episodes if you want to catch up, watch the videos, that kind of thing. Videos go all the way back to like the 10th episode or some crazy shit like that. And yeah, you can check those all those out. The Toku Minutes are on there as well as like shorts, whatever the fuck YouTube calls them. You can check those out too. They're doing gangbusters on there too, honestly. And if you want to check out my personal stuff, I got some things in the pipeline, like those movies and things I was talking about. It's at Kaiju Carl on YouTube as well. You can follow that. There's only one video up at the moment, and that was up like 3 months ago. It's how to get into fighting games, but if it gets you into fighting games, go check it out.
Look, it's a good one. It's a good one. You should check it out.
And yeah, other than that, I'll be here, twitch.tv/Kaiju Carl. You can follow me at Kaiju Carl on Twitter. And like we said, next week we are going to finish Shogeki Go Reigen. And we'll be talking about Keita Amamiya's weird ass parody show. So,
oh my god, that thing is bananas. But yeah, we'll get there. Okay, guys, we'll see you next week.
Deuces, yo.
Deuces.